I think it's great that even when Wes Anderson isn't doing stop motion animation movies, he gets his actors to make live action stop motion animation movies.
That's true.
I
This
really
movie,
like it.
this movie is literally everything I hate about Wes Anderson movies
Just
distilled down
everything I
in
fucking love.
Yeah, me too.
right.
I think it's his
Because
proper. I think it's his proper
This is
medium.
right.
I
right,
own
this is the
every
thing he should be doing, and leave me out of it. Thank you.
I know Wes Anderson is not for
Wow.
everybody. I think I've talked about this on the show. He is definitely for me. I get an expression on my face watching his movies that is one, I don't know. It's like just there's just this idiotic smile just creeps on my face. Um, I understand some of it's the sort of OCD thing that his obsessive making sure that everything is vanishing point perspective centered.
Oh, the
I
Kubrickian thing.
I find, well, it's way past that because I've
Yeah,
compared. I mean, I remember watching Isle of Dogs,
right.
and like every
Which
time they
got
cut,
that
like
close to picking, might I add.
and every time they would cut to a new scene, it's like my eyes go boom, 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 everything's centered.
Yeah.
And I can continue to keep smiling. I mean, yes, it's artificial. Yes, they're weird diorama movies. Yes, he manages to get A+ list actors to deliver their lines in the weirdest way possible. Most of the time, though,
The
I mean, like
worst way
I
possible.
would argue that, go watch Moonrise Kingdom, which I've almost picked several times, and
No.
look how good, how fucking good Bruce Willis is in that movie.
It may be my favorite of his
It's
movies,
top 3
actually.
or 4 for me.
Yeah.
And I just, again,
I'm sorry, hang on. Your favorite Bruce Willis movie or your favorite Wes Anderson
my
movie?
favorite
Shut
Wes
up,
Wes
Chris.
Anderson.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking.
No, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
I mean, I tend to live in the Tenenbaums, the Moonrise.
Continuum.
I love all of them. And
Yeah.
like I even like fucking Darjeeling Limited. I mean, that's how much I love.
The one I didn't like is the Cousteau one.
Oh, I just watched that again 2 months
Yeah,
ago.
I couldn't get
Better every
through
time
it.
I see it.
Yeah,
I couldn't get
I've
through it.
never made it.
I
all
never
the
saw
way
The Life
through
Aquatic,
again.
so I have no idea.
So
Life Aquatic. That's
so he
it.
followed up. I think this was the one that followed Darjeeling, which I understand. Like, I remember Darjeeling comes out and people thought it was a bit of a letdown. I like a lot of things about it, mostly the way that it looks. But this is his first stop motion, and again, he found a way to make a stop motion movie.
This is his first stop motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And there's going to be another one.
well, he did Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this film that I picked it and I like is I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan. I think his stuff is twee, and I think his stuff is a little
twee with a capital T.
And kind of like it's a little it's stiff and form wise. But this was actually for me.
Who fucking cares?
My favorite is because this is it's actually the source material. I think that you ever read the book?
No.
This is definitely
he gives up on it. He gives up on it halfway through.
He gives up by halfway through, but the thing is, like, it's set up just like the book, at least the beginning, and it's so much fun because he kind of like he understood the job. It's like the anthropomorphic thing, and kind of work through it and make it feel real. And it was just really nicely done in that respect. And so I like the kind of fairy tale feel to it, that's what I really that drew me to it, because we're talking about like bridging the sympathy gap. Wes Anderson always puts a wall there because it's so formal, but this one's pretty close though. He kind of makes little mini dramas happen with Christopherson and the son.
This fucking guy.
Oh, I love that guy.
I love Possum.
Wasn't that Wally Wolodarski?
Yeah, I think so.
Simpsons writer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was great.
I love Possum. I love Bill Murray. I love Clooney. I mean, come on, Clooney and fucking Meryl Streep. Come on.
No.
Meryl Streep, unfortunately, I thought was the weak link because she was a late hire apparently, and I thought she just kind of not
Willem Dafoe.
I think
Willem Dafoe's great.
Dafoe is good.
Yeah. But it's full of great little performances, and the animation is it's fun to watch. He does that scaled thing where he'll start out in the distance, a little tiny version.
Yeah.
He'll go down to the bottom of the frame, come up medium size.
Technically, I think this movie is amazing. I mean, I'm watching. Go, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah, I saw Mr. and Mrs. Fox over at the Academy Museum, and they're like this tall. That's it.
I
You
mean,
know,
the scenes with the people.
No, they made 107 different
they did a
versions
lot
of
of different.
Mr.
Yes.
Fox.
There's ones there that the head's this big.
107, literally.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
this movie is beyond self-indulgent, and that's yet another thing that I just like. How the hell does Wes Anderson keep getting people to give him all this money to make these self-indulgent diorama movies and get A+ list actors to be in them?
I wonder if this was this
because
film
of,
cheap.
because of
Well,
people
it's because they
paying money
make
to see
money,
it.
obviously.
I keep going. I see these. I go every single one of these in the theater.
Was this a cheap film or is this an expensive film?
Indian painting is how
Indian
he
paintbrush.
does that.
Or
Whatever.
Indian paintbrush, yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's how, because he is a billionaire who doesn't give a shit about how much money he spends.
Who owns
and
that? Who
just
owns
gives-
Indian paintbrush?
The guy who just bought fucking Criterion. Like,
Yeah, that
it's-
guy.
It's that guy, which is why I said in the chat, "All hail our new overlord."
Yeah.
Is Indian paintbrush is Criterion now. Like,
Yeah, Disney will own all of them pretty soon.
Right.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah, it's
No,
Disney
I-
wouldn't care.
Scott Rudin, not him.
No, it's
This guy's higher up.
higher up.
Yeah, okay, good enough. I'm trying to look at the budget of this thing. It was
I
$40
can't
million.
imagine it was
$40 million
in 2009.
in 2009. Yeah, that's not bad. That's
I mean-
mid range.
Every penny of it's on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
penny.
Which is what's great about animation. It's this kind of thing like the Chicken Run, or anything you think of stop motion stuff. It's like it's
Mhm.
the craftsmanship that's why you're there. It's like everything here is handmade, everything is a little miniaturized, and everything just looks just right because they're not just throwing props around. They're gonna have to fucking make every goddamn thing in this movie to make it work. And it's just that's what I liked about it. It's like there's the plot, which is fun. Things get blown up and there's a backhoe and things like that. But it's just every scene you talk about, he makes little diorama movies. Every scene in this film is a diorama and is detailed.
Yeah.
Now, you and I could not sit down with like a bunch of modeling clay, make anything resembling this. It's like, this is tons and tons of real talent going into this.
Oh, and I mean, what was the thing that Tad, the creepy mouse movie we watched a couple weeks ago?
String.
Oh, that Blood Tea and
Blood
Red
Tea.
String
Blood
Theory.
Tea, yeah. Again, it's just I find the art form fascinating, just out of the gate. And you have me from frame one with the stop motion thing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's Aardman or this stuff or Blood Tea. I find years and years and years ago when I was interning at Colossal Pictures, I got to
Oh, wow.
be on set for one of those. It's just the level of it, like, it's insane.
What were they working on? Just curious.
It's a commercial.
Okay.
Just like some
But
Coke commercial, something.
they fooled those guys in Nightmare Before Christmas guys. They're almost the same people, right?
I don't know about that. I just
Okay.
That's another one that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And this was no exception. And again, you layer on, you take the artistry and the attention to detail and these incredible designs and these crazy sets, and then you layer on that particular Wes Anderson brand of whimsy.
Which
Whimsy. Squee whimsy.
Yes, it's
And again, I understand that it is not
It's twimsy.
I understand it is not for everybody. It is definitely for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't mind that part at all. In fact, that when you find out 10 minutes into the film that Mr. Fox has a lawyer, it's like, of course he has a lawyer. He's like, he works for a newspaper and he's gonna try to get a lawyer to buy a house for him. It's like, all right, fine, do it. This is how it works. And you find all the movers are all squirrels, which I think was hysterical. That was fun. But it's just
I laugh a lot at this movie.
yeah.
Still.
And also, when you get to the end, it's like when you have that little breakdown, it says, "You know what? We're all wild animals." And that's just I was waiting for that. That's the
I
mic drop
love
of
the
the film.
eating scenes.
Every eating scene makes me laugh.
Yes.
When you were reminded that these are ultimately foxes.
That's the best stuff. But yeah, I thought it was really I actually, this, unlike Akira, this every time I see this one, I like it more. I think it seems like I like the juvenile characters in there a little bit more because they actually got some flaws. They're working stuff out. There's some, oh my God, such a fuck up, and then in the end he's not.
Jason Schwartzman.
Jason
Character's
Schwartzman,
great.
yeah. It's he inhabits the character. It's great.
All right, all of you that hate it, go ahead and chime in now.
Hi, John.
All right. I've seen bits of this, and I had never seen it all the way through. And
Oh,
I want to acknowledge everything that you're saying about the craft of it. It looks amazing, but I just wish it did something for me because it just doesn't. I sat there pretty much.
Anything.
I sat there like a stone through most of this, wondering why I didn't care. I just couldn't
Because
engage.
they weren't juvenile delinquents.
They weren't juvenile delinquents. That's right.
it comes back again.
I saw Roald Dahl's name come up at the beginning, and it's like, okay, I loved his books when I was a kid. I loved, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
You probably read this. It's a short.
Phantom Tollbooth.
I didn't even know about this one as a book, and so I expected sort of
I like
a good
his, Playboy short stories.
Yeah, right. I wanted a satisfying story, and I
Wait, you're right. that isn't
guess
him.
I just didn't get it. And maybe Tad says that we veered off about halfway through and abandoned the book plot.
More or less. It became a
mean,
Wes Anderson movie at the end of it.
It's visually nice. I like the Willem Dafoe's rat character a lot.
Yeah, he's fun.
With his weird metaphors. You're as pretty as a creme brulee. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And I also like
creme brulee is beautiful.
Towards
It
the end
is
of the
beautiful.
film.
All that crystalline sugar on top.
Well, right. When they're in the sidecar towards the end of the movie and they screech on the brakes and they see the wolf out in
That
the
was fun.
distance.
Cool.
That's the best scene. That's the best scene in the movie.
To me,
the moment
it's
where
like-
the wolf puts its paw up
yeah.
and
You
agrees with them, that's the best part of it.
I think Canis Lupus, it's me,
emotionally-
Vulpus.
Right. Emotionally, that sort of reached something that the whole movie sort of was groping for thematically that I
And
never felt
failing.
it did
But
and failed. Which is
how is it? How is that?
We are wild animals and we're trying to reconnect to our wild nature.
Which, as I said, that was the turnaround in the film when they start calling them by their scientific names.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel it in the movie. I just felt it in that scene when they saw the wolf off in the distance.
That was the culmination of it. And the thing is, it was set up because Mr. Fox said
he was perfect.
Yeah, he said he was terrified of wolves the entire movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
So that was the end.
No,
it's
he says he has a phobia.
A phobia of wolves.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's not afraid of them.
Not afraid.
He
He has
has
a phobia.
phobia of them.
Right.
And that is thematically interesting when you get to the actual wolf
Mhm.
in the movie, because his phobia doesn't prevent him from being like,
Yeah, right.
Right.
like
I don't know.
the wolf.
I ended up watching. I watched Isle of Dogs in the theater, and I think I liked it more than this. But it also kind of left me with the same sort of vaguely dissatisfied feeling at the end of I wish that had been better.
I think I was going to go between that or Isle of Dogs, because Isle of Dogs would have actually fit with Akira better.
Right.
But I thought that Isle of Dogs was kind of like, it was kind of stuffy and didn't really go anywhere interesting. This I thought had a nice arc, at least in terms of like, here's a community that gets completely destroyed and they redefine themselves at the end. There is a real story here, as opposed to Isle of Dogs, which is kind of like, I don't know, it's a Bildungsroman in a lot of ways.
I couldn't even tell you what that movie was about anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember the visuals.
But like I said, this I thought was more of a satisfying story, and like I said, it's just so they let the quirk. Kind of the quirk level is always high for these, but the quirk is just perfect in terms of not being annoying and not being low enough that you don't notice it. It's hard. It's a hard level to achieve. I think it's like a balancing act. Everyone's gonna be quirky and everyone's gonna be. Always gonna hear George Clooney. You're always gonna hear Bill Murray, but they're gonna especially the loopy way that George Clooney's dialogue works. He's always giving a speech. Always.
Yeah.
And it's like after a while you get used to it. It's like this is how he talks. Guy who gives speeches all the time. So I was very charmed by this film.
All right, so I had my say, Jim, Quiet Man, other Quiet Man.
I enjoyed this more than Akira, yeah, but I sort of was predisposed to it, I guess. I had not seen it before, so I like. There's a quality to Wes Anderson's flicks, which is what I think turns a lot of people off to them. That there's a high degree of like stylization. It reminds me of like no drama. There's only 23 scripts in the entire canon, and they just go over.
This film is a kabuki, basically. Yeah.
So Yeah, there's that. And I thought the voice acting was good. I thought the visuals are great too.
Yeah.
I think of you think about like Wes Anderson. So Bottle Rocket was what, like 96. He's
Yeah.
really, I mean, it's one of those guys that
Produced by
instantly,
James L. Brooks.
Oh,
within 2 minutes of any Wes Anderson movie, you know who did it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And
definitely.
been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And finding
And
different ways to do it, and
keep
still
doing
it's
it,
always
and
him.
they still let him keep doing it. And like, if you think about how many cookie cutter directors are out there making movies with A-list talent, and it could be anybody doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that he gets to keep, he is way over in Westland doing his West
Yes.
thing. No one else is trying to do that West thing.
Right.
I find that weirdly comforting.
I've only seen a couple of parodies of him, and it's like no one even gets
There
close.
was a Saturday Night Live one that was
The
pretty,
Saturday Night Live one.
That one's
is
pretty good.
pretty good.
Unbelievable. The Sight and Sound article that the director wrote for that is amazing.
I wrote the SNL down. We
Like-
used the clip, but that was a good one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Also,
there are a lot of
wh-
bad ones out there.
Also,
too.
where does this film take place? Is it a bunch of American accented animals living in England? What's going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it lives
Because
in
he
Wes
gets-
Anderson.
No,
land.
he gets into the right side of the car and drives off. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
that is England.
Okay, good enough. So this is Britain, and we define our animals by the fact they all sound like
It's
Americans.
post Brexit.
It's great,
It is not post anyway.
and it's
The
and it has-
farmers, the farmers that are British, right? Are all
Right.
British.
Yeah,
of
Boggins-
course.
Michael
Constantine.
Gambon, come on.
yeah,
Michael
that's great.
Gambon, yes. I kept
Also,
waiting
that-
for him to serve up somebody. As
I can tell you that. Although you could say that beagles love blueberries, our dog loves blueberries. So I actually watched this film and gave her one. It's like, so I guess there's something to it.
He said it so matter of factly. Everyone
I know.
knows.
Everyone knows that beagles. love-
Everybody knows. that
And
Beagles
there was that rabid one at the end. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
What was with the spiral eyes that Clooney's character is like?
What was
I
No,
thought,
also,
that was
I thought he
that
got
was-
bit by
Well,
the.
it's
Possum
because
did it
the
too.
possum keeps doing that.
Yeah.
and
I thought he
that
got-
one time.
I thought he got bit by the rabid
that's
dog.
Kylie. Yeah, Kylie. He's always trying to tell him something. And he's like, shh.
Yeah.
Kylie the
And he's like,
possum.
"Hey, can you tell me if you understand?" Because like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Christopherson. I mean, the names.
and
come
then
Oh,
when
come on.
when it happens to Clooney, he's like, "Hey, can you hear me?" And he goes,
Yeah.
Like it does play
Good callback.
in-
It's a
Yeah, it
callback.
is. It's
a
nice.
callback. Yeah.
Cussing,
So,
good callback.
So Christopherson's voice was by Wes Anderson's brother.
Oh,
I think
Uh,
Wes Anderson is also a character in this.
He
movie.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the rabbit.
they
the
got-
end
He's one of the squirrels. I
he
think.
is. He's the squirrel
Yeah.
who's in charge of the moving company.
They
Yeah.
got
And also
Jarvis
the rabbit
Cocker is
chef
one
at
with
the end
guitar.
is Mario Batali, which is kind of fun.
That's good.
Jarvis
Oh,
Cocker
hmm.
from Pulp was singing the song.
That's right. Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
weird ass song.
Yeah.
He almost that was fun.
All right, Tad, why do you hate it?
I think he's
I-
told you.
I think you said it. I think he said his piece. In fact, did Jim?
No,
do you
I
have-
mean honestly, you brought it up. You brought up the thing that makes me not like it, which is blood tea and red string. Like
Mhm.
the amount of emotion that can be packed into not talking versus this movie, which is just talking all the time. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not
wanted
Tokyo
to
Story.
watch that. I wanted to watch that again. Like I just wanted to go back and have that experience of, the only thing you hear is the baka and the of the animals
Yeah, squeak, squeak.
versus hearing George Clooney talk and hearing Meryl Streep talk and all of that stuff. Like
Well, it's a style thing. It's a style issue. You have to admit.
yeah, it's a style issue.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm not, again, like, I feel like there's this thing of like, oh, Ted doesn't like movies, Ted doesn't like these things, but it's like, I have a very specific set of things that I enjoy. And when it comes to cross purposes like this, my feeling is like, you have to wow me, and it didn't.
That's reasonable. Well, we've all been there, you know. It's like you bring something out and you try something out and people like it, people don't. It's no big deal.
Right.
And especially if it's, again, it's a style thing. It's like maybe you think there's too much talking in there. There's like the too many notes thing. That's legit.
This is kind of his thing too.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
his thing.
it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah, he was a
Tarantino.
talky
It's-
director.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you about Wes Anderson. It's just him using fucking cutout paper dolls instead of actors.
Yeah.
Like they're actually actors standing there, and I don't enjoy it. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
again, when Chris was like, well, I'm gonna pick a Wes Anderson movie eventually, and I was like, please do not do that, actually.
I found that
Like-
preview, of course, this week.
Right. It is because I have that same feeling every time of just like I don't want this. Like
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't enjoy it.
For me, it's like you got bands you love, and some of them, like the Ramones or Slayer, you know, keep making the same record over and over and over and over again, but you still like them and you look forward to the next one.
Yeah.
And then you've got other bands that sort of start over here and end up over there because they evolved creatively. And if you're lucky, you go with them. Wes is more like in the first camp. He
Right.
keeps making that Ramones record
Mhm.
over and over and over again. And I still find it extremely, like I said, I own them all. I either like them or love them a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Joey and Dee Dee are dead now.
Well,
man.
it's
Like,
so
for
is-
me. It's like it's like a Metallica thing for
They're
me.
all
It's like
dead,
I
basically. It's
you know
one drummer
I
left.
don't love and follow Metallica, but I do like a couple of their songs intensely. I think some of the couple of their songs are great. Wes Anderson, I
like-
don't follow all of his films, but a couple of his films I love intensely, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's basically it. Are we all done?
I think we're
I
done.
believe so.
All right. Well,
Big thumbs up for me. I love this fucking
All right,
movie.
good enough. Me too, man.
To
One of my
quote
favorites.
Tad, this is the mildest of thumbs down.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
that's
All right.
fine. That's fine.
Good enough.
It's-
Moving on.